Welcome to Bracket Bash, the podcast. Take a bracket of 32, 64, 128 or more and banter our way down to a winner. I am your lovely host this week, Freddie Fisher, and I have my great co-host from the recasting call on today's show. Kate, how you doing today there, love?
I am wonderful. Little cold. We had a pretty heavy duty snowstorm blow through, but we are getting through it and warming up with the, super hot Paul Giamatti today.
Well, I agree on the first part of that. We had our massive Mother Nature is being a massive dick right now, and it's just completely fucking Iowa across the board right now. It is -7 degrees with a -20 something wind chill right now, and I'm not really happy about it. But on the second part of that about Paul Giamatti being super hot, I will take your word on your personal renditions of that, and hopefully we can warm this up. Let's go ahead and start us off. Before we do, however, we got a couple lifelines, a couple stuff like that. Number one, as Charlie introduces herself in this situation too. Number one, as always, is Past a Parcel. This week's Past a Parcel goes to Paul Giamatti, believe it or not, because this is what Kate decided to do. It's Paul Giamatti via ChatGPT. We're not a big podcast. We can't get the actual Paul Giamatti to do this, even though I'm sure he would absolutely love it if we could actually get a hold of him in that entire process. But you know what? Laws being laws the way they are. Past the partial, however, during this show, since we have a Sweet 16 episode, the third of our Three Wise Men series, past the parcel can be used anytime during this show. It will, and what that does, if you don't want to vote, you can give your vote to you give your vote to ChatGPT slash Paul Giamatti in this situation, and he will be voting for you. Secondary on top of that is, of course, steal a vote. Anytime during this game, up into including the semifinal round, so this is Sweet 16, you get an extra round. You can, instead of giving your vote to instead of giving your vote to Paul Giamatti, you can steal your vote from somebody else, but you have to do this on your turn, as always, and before that person's vote. You can only do this one time during the show. And last but certainly not least is the oldie but the goodie blowing your load. If you're one of the first ones to go and don't want to be one of the first ones to go, you blow your load. This means you're going last. If somebody else blows their load after you, you're no longer going last. You're going directly before them, and so on and so forth. We have come up with a new rule as of recently. We have something called a Bukake episode, which means if everybody happens to blow their load on the same turn, not including the audience, because the audience is not allowed these actual lifelines, but if everybody blows their load on the same turn, it is known as a Bukake episode. Bukake episodes are going to be limited to 5 votes or more. So we don't have a litany of a whole bunch of Bukake episodes as much as we would absolutely love to have that stuff done. And of course, as always, if you happen to blow your load, you will hear this sound.
Oh!
My headphones are very, very loud in my thing. So, ironically enough, I think that moaning just blew out my ears. All right.
I did not realize my headphones were up as loud as they are either.
Well, Kate and I did a show the other day for their casting call, and I had to turn my headphones up for a particular reason. I forgot to turn them back down, so that's why. Kate starts this off. Kate does not start this off. The audience starts us off on this one. And the audience it's either Rock of Ages or Man on the Moon in a 5 vote difference off of this. Man on the Moon gets that vote. It is Kate's vote. Kate, is it Man on the Moon or Rock of Ages?
As much as I like Rock of Ages, I'm going to go with our audience vote. I think Man on the Moon's a better role for him.
Sorry, what was your vote off of that when I had to deal with my kid sticking something down his pants?
Sorry, I think I just short circuited. Man on the Moon.
Man of the Moon gets the second vote off of that one. I'm going to go for Rock of Ages off of this one. I'm a fan of musicals. Sorry, not sorry. Uh, I'm not offended that Man on the Moon did win because I'm also a huge wrestling fan, and Man on the Moon has a little bit of a wrestling theme going around it because, of course, um, that that's part of the actual storyline. So, Man on the Moon gets that vote. Rock of Ages got number 8 on the entire path. The parcel from Paul Giamatti, not Paul Giamatti himself, but our Chat GPT, Paul Giamatti. And as soon as my phone decides to work, I will tell you exactly what was said. Uh, Number 8, Rock of Ages, a deeply stupid movie that commits with alarming sincerity. That kind of confidence is almost admirable. I hate myself a little for enjoying it, but I respect the audacity. Sometimes loud nonsense is still craftsmanship. I told Kate.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
I told Kate before the show that it's a little bit wordy, but it's going to be worth it in the end. Audience got that vote. Kate starts this one off. Kate, is it Paycheck or The Illusionist?
Oh, it's The Illusionist. That is the movie that made me fall in love with Paul Giamatti as I think of him really as a character actor. His roles are so he gets so into them, and the accent he does is fabulous. He didn't just do a generic European accent. He went for a really good light Austrian accent as Chief Inspector Uhl. I just I really he disappeared into that character so much. I did not realize it was him at first.
I'm gonna go for the Illusionist as well. The Illusion, the only I love this movie, by the way. Only problem with the Illusionist is one of those movies you can watch kind of twice, and that's and then you have to wait a couple of years just to enjoy the presence again, because the first time you watch it, it's a movie, and the second time you watch it, you know what happens, so you're looking for the clues that they do show you in the end of the movie and know exactly what happened at that point. But it's bothersome after that fact.
If you get an opportunity to watch it with the director's commentary, it's one of the because I love that kind of stuff. I mean, obviously, we're on a movie called The Recasting Call, or a podcast called The Recasting Call. I like movies. I like the background that goes into making them. I was a theater major for like 25 minutes. That movie with the director's commentary, they discuss Paul Giamatti and his acting and his character throughout it, obviously because he's a pretty big part of it. That I would say I would argue you could watch it a third time that way, and it is so worth the time it takes to watch it.
I do feel that he got kind of screwed in that one. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Prince deserved what he got in the end, and we all know that. But I also think that Paul Giamatti's role, I don't think like he got fired ish in the end. He would have lost his job anyway because the guy's dead. But I think he got kind of ousted in a way that wasn't really good. I am glad that he ended up getting what he really wanted in the end, though, and that with that book
Hmm.
and knowing how stuff was done. So all in all, it's a good movie. I absolutely love it. The audience agrees with this one. In a 12 vote difference, The Illusionist moves on 3-0. The other one's a 2-1. Okay. Uh, yeah, Illusionist moves on 3-0. Paycheck, by the way, number 14, so almost the last one, says this movie exists in theory. I have seen it. I cannot prove it, and that is its greatest trick. The Illusionist moves on.
The
I
fact
start
that
this.
that's supposed to be as if it was a drunk Paul Giamatti is just love it.
Next up, I start this one off. It is either Jungle Cruise or San Andreas. You know what? I did not see these, by the way, but I absolutely love the fact that both of these are Dwayne the Rock Johnson movies. We have done a Rock tournament in the past. It's actually one of our highest rated shows in the far distant past that we've done. Uh, I don't I don't know if either one of these movies has we're on it has been that far back as far as that goes. San Andreas is between Jungle Cruise. Jungle Cruise was a dumbass movie. It wasn't a good movie, but I enjoyed it, and that's for somebody who has never actually been on the entire Jungle Cruise ride. So I can't even enjoy it like that. San Andreas, It's your typical disaster movie type thing. If you're a fan of disaster movies, go check out the movie Disaster Movie. You might enjoy that one too. As a Disney kid, I'm gonna go for Jungle Cruise off of this one, but there's not a big difference between the two of these. The audience in this one, in a 5 vote difference, will be going for Jungle Cruise as well. Kate, is it Jungle Cruise or San Andreas?
I will also be going with Jungle Cruise, and I will say, having been on Jungle Cruise in Disneyland and Disney World, which makes me sound very, very bougie.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not. Disneyland, I was 19 and in a car accident the next day. Um, and then Disney World was just recently with my kids, and I was super pregnant and vomiting the whole time. Which kind of just describes a little bit how I felt about the Jungle Cruise movie. You don't need to have gone on the ride to appreciate the movie. Um, and he's his character in Jungle Cruise I thought was a lot of fun.
The Rock's characters in most movies that he does are actually just a lot of fun, but The Rock is actually kind of playing The Rock.
Oh yeah, it's pretty much always him just in a different outfit. Like it's kind of reminds me of like Barbie. Like if you watch any of if you were a child who grew up watching any of the Barbie movies where it's like Barbie and the Nutcracker and Barbie's 12 Dancing Princesses, it's all Barbie. Like Dwayne Rock Johnson is always Barbie, just in a different accessory.
San Andreas got in spot number 15 off of this one. Says spectacle without substance is just okay. I'm gonna restart that one. Spectacle without substance is just destructive porn. Buildings falls, characters shout, nothing resonates. It's exhausting in the worst way. I
Fair.
really wish Paul Giamatti actually said this stuff because, like, I want a clip of that.
I feel like it would be so that would just be so fun. Although I think he respects his body of work too much to potentially say that about
Yeah,
something.
Jung-
He is a Yale grad after all.
Jungle Cruise moves on 3-0 to the next round. Audience starts this one off. It is either Big Fat Liar or Big Mama's House. This is how you know Chat GPT did these because these are both quote unquote big movies. So it is what it is.
Big
With
old
a
fat movies.
1 vote difference, and by the way, the path to partial vote was a 1 spot difference in this one too. Um, Big Fat Liar ended up getting the audience vote. Kate, is Big Fat Liar or Big Mama's House?
Big fat liar. I'm surprised it was that close.
I agree with you. I'm not a fan of Big Mama's House. I've never been a big fan of Big Mama's House. I do love the entire scene in Big Fat Liar when he turns out to be blue. The quote unquote Smurf scene. And
Love it.
there's always like this is one of those things, especially as an adult. This is why this movie resonates not only with kids because it's a kid movie, but it resonates with adults too because you everybody has had that one boss that they just want to embarrass the living piss out of, and that's adding dye to somebody's pool is just a really cool way of doing that, and it is what it is. 3 and out, Big Fat Liar uh, gets the vote and the win. So if we have 3 3 and outs and 1 2 to 1, Big Mama's House ended up getting spot 11 off of this one. So it's broad, obvious, and exhausting, but Martin Lawrence commits fully, and I will always respect commitment, even when I am tired, especially when I'm tired. Oh, I love ChatGPT. Big Fat Liar moves on 3-0. Kate starts us off. Kate, Truman Show, Sideways,
Truman Show, both for the role and the movie.
gets a vote. I prefer Sideways as a movie, but I prefer Truman Show as a role. Or sorry, I take it back. The exact opposite. I prefer Truman Show as a movie, but I prefer Sideways as the actual role type thing. Um, so I'm gonna go with Sideways off of this one. I personally think that it's the better movie off the top of that. However, audience gets a tie-breaking decision in this one in a 22 vote difference off of this one. Truman Show gets that vote and moves on 2-1. Okay. And Sideways got for Chat GPT and Paul Giamatti got this is not just a film, it's a state of being. It understands disappointment, yearning, uh, pretension, and the quiet humiliation of being very smart and very unhappy at the same time. It's about wine, yes, but it's really about the failure wearing a cardigan and pretending it's fine. I feel seen deeply. Got ranked at spot number one for that one. So Truman Show moves on 2-1 to the next round. I start this one off. It's a cartoon combat off of this one. We have either robots or turbo. I'm going to go for robots off of this one, but it's not necessarily for Paul Giamatti, and I apologize for this. I will vote for robots pretty much every time a chance I get in the first round for Robin Williams. This is one of my favorite Robin Williams roles in general, especially as a voice actor role for him. So I'm gonna go for robots no matter what, just off of that. Besides the point, I've never liked Turbo anyway. It's just not my type of film. Robots gets my vote. Audience between Robots and Turbo in a three, sorry, in a 7 vote difference. I was reading the wrong one. In a 7 vote difference, Robots gets that vote as well. Kate, is it Robots or Turbo?
Going to be robots for me as well. And I think anytime we mentioned robots, I always bring up the fun fact that I was in high school color guard, and one of our shows was based on the music of robots.
Moves on 3-0 to the next round. Audience starts us off. Before the audience does, I get to read Turbo. Turbo got spot number 16 off of this one. A snail racing is not inherently charming. It's a uh, that's typed out wrong. It's a premise in search of meaning, which is why I said it was typed out wrong because I don't think that word is right. Robots moves on 3-0. Audience starts us off on this one. It is either Planet of the Apes or 12 Years a Slave. Uh, this is Planet of the Apes, a remake, by the way. I say that because Paul Giamatti is probably old enough to be at least one of the small apes in Planet of the Apes in the original ones. He is not, unfortunately, but he is an ape, a very prominent ape in the actual remake of the Planet of the Apes. Which, by the way, I am a better fan. I'm a bigger fan of the remake of Planet of the Apes than I am the original Planet of the Apes. And hate me if you want, I do not care. 12 Years a Slave is a damn good movie. It's not my type of movie, uh, mainly because I feel bad about it and I shouldn't. So I'm gonna go with Planet of the Apes off of that one. Gets my vote. Kate, uh, or sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself and I shouldn't. The audience gets to vote off of that one. The audience, however, in an 8 vote difference, is going for Planet of the Apes as well. Kate, Planet of the Apes or 12 Years a Slave?
Planet of the Apes, his role's more fleshed out, I think. 12 Years a Slave is a great movie, but he's more of a blip than a critical character, I would say.
And as I previously stated, for my vote as well, it is Planet of the Apes for me. It moves on. 12 Years a Slave got number 5. However, for Chat GPT / Paul Giamatti, or sorry, take that back. I was looking at the wrong movie. Spot number 2. So number 1 and 2 is off the board. 12 Years a Slave. This is cinema that doesn't care if you're comfortable, and it shouldn't. It's devastating, uh, meticulously crafted, and morally unavoidable. Anyone who ranks this lower is trying to themselves is lying to themselves and or afraid of seriousness. I finish this. I finish this movie in need of silence and more wine. So it is off the board though. Planet of the Apes moves on to the next round. Kate starts this off and finishes off round one off of this one. Is it Saving Private Ryan or Fred Claus?
Saving Private Ryan is objectively a better movie. But Fred Claus is a lot of fun if it's Christmas time. I'm gonna say Fred Claus is. I'm sure Saving Private Ryan's gonna be the one that actually wins from everybody else.
So your official vote?
Yeah, it's gonna be my official vote.
I mean, what is your official vote? Could you cut out on my end?
Oh, sorry. I said I'm going to officially vote for Fred Claus, knowing that
Okay.
Saving Private Ryan is most likely going to win and really should. But it's Charlotte. But it's Christmas time.
So even Charlie disagrees with you on that one because Charlie, not being part of the audience, however, the audience also agreed with you on that one that Fred Claus should win this because they voted that way too in an 8 vote difference. And I'm voting that way for Fred Claus as well. Number one, because it has my name on it too. This movie is a definition of debauchery. Um, and as a person with siblings, I love this movie to start with because it has such a good sibling nature to it in a very bad way that I absolutely love it. And this is one of the very few Vince Vaughn movies that I actually like. So I'm gonna go with Fred Claus off this one as well. Saving Private Ryan uh, stays getting no votes. Uh, okay, Fred Claus moves on 3-0. Saving Private Ryan, no votes. Gets spot number 3 in for Chat GPT slash Paul Giamatti on here. Says it is an absolutely assault on the senses, and rightly so. It strips the heroism strips the hero of romance and leaves you with mud, fear, and chaos. Spielberg earns every ounce of this brutality. This movie doesn't entertain; it confronts. I think Chat GPT, Paul Giamatti is a little bit of a snob.
I think ChatGPT Paul Giamatti also ranked the movies based on the movie versus his role in the movie, and or was uh, aligning himself a little bit more highly in his place in the movie's role.
Either way, Fred Claus moves on 3-0 to the next round. Be right back right after this break. Um, uh, okay. Before I became a podcaster, I thought I didn't think that all these 5 stars review these requests for 5 star reviews actually mattered. But with that, I was very very wrong, and I'm okay to go ahead and to admit that. So, and with instead of just asking for your 5 stars, we do that, and we're going to give you something back for it. We're going to take your 5 star review and anything you decide to go ahead and send to us, and we're going to read it on air for it. We like to call this our thank you to review. If you would like to send a thank you to review along to with us, our email address, that's how you do it, is bracket BRACKETTY2R at yahoo.com. That two is a number, by the way, not in the actual word. And that's how you get in. You can get in like Lily off of this one. Lily writes, "My name is Lily. I'm 67 and I love your show. It is the humor is great as well as the conversation, and I thank you for explaining the entire quote unquote 6-7 thing to us. As I just turned a month ago, it's been bothering me since." Signed, Lilith Smithers. Uh, by the way, I've never seen Lily spelled that way, so thank you for doing that. It kind of excited me. My question is, what is your top 3 life bucket list items? Okay, so I'm gonna put that right there. Kate did not get this question beforehand. Even we had a long ass conversation, and I still didn't even decide to bring that one up. So, uh, while she thinks about this, my top 3 life bucket list items is I want to host a holiday. And I say that because I know a lot of people do it. A lot of people have the opportunity to do it. Uh, it takes a lot to host a holiday. You need to have a big enough place to do it. You need to have a big enough uh, uh, group of people around you to actually host a holiday type type thing as well. So you have wealth in home, wealth in family slash friends, um, and it's kind of nice just to go ahead and do that. I've never been able to, and now that my lovely my lovely wife, as beautiful as entertaining as she is, she's not a huge entertainer person. So if I ever do get to do this, it's going to be one of those things that when a place to do it and just do it for like shits and giggles. Um, my number two is I want to go see a Packers Bear game live at Soldier Field or whatever field they have to come up with next because all it seems like every NFL stadium is about to be replaced or has been recently. I want to see a Bears Packers game in Chicago where the Bears win. Now, if it takes me 10 times to go see the game where the Bears finally win, I'm okay with that because that allows me to sit to do 10 Bears Packers games, and that's kind of is what it is. Third, I want um, I want to officiate my daughter's wedding. Okay, and I say that because my daughter has a stepdad as well. I'm a stepdad. I've talked about my middle kid a couple times during this show. His dad is not in the picture, so I am dad to him type thing. But my daughter, however, she's got a stepdad and an actual dad in the actual picture. One second. Excuse me. Got a dad and a stepdad in the entire picture. So when it comes to the person walking her down the aisle, I want her stepdad to be included. And one thing that her stepdad wouldn't be able to do, because he's not a huge person that likes to talk in front of people, is to actually officiate the wedding. So I kind of figured my bucket list item, this all depends on my daughter too, if she ever decides to get married. My bucket list item is to officiate the wedding. So her stepdad or whoever she decides to choose, this just allows that to happen, um, gets to walk her down the aisle instead of me. And I'm completely okay with that. All you um, quote unquote real dad haters out there or stepdad lovers or haters or whatever, just don't come at me. I don't care. This is something that I put a lot of thought into. And as my shirt says, fuck off. So it is what it is. Kate, what's your top three your life bucket list items?
So one, I don't know how to phrase this so it would be an item, but would be to to live long enough that my kids no longer need me by choice. Like to essentially to have fulfilled my role as a parent so thoroughly that when I am at that point of passing, they are all happy, healthy, and where they need to be. I think that's my number one. Um, on a more like lighthearted, fun note, I would love to go to space and spend a week or more on the International Space Station. I think that'd be really cool. Um, and then the final thing would to be to visit every country on Earth at least once.
Well, that's 192, I think.
I only have 186 to go.
Well, you got a
Actually, no,
lot.
I have like 189 to go.
You got a lot. You got a lot more.
I've only been to three.
Okay, you have one
I
more
suck at
below your
math.
feet now. That's I have. I've been to two different countries, and that's the United States, which I don't call America, by the way, because
No, it's a
the
continent.
United States is not America. America is a continent. So for all you freaking haters out there, it's America. No, it's the United States. Um,
Correction.
but I've been to Jamaica as well. So that's some of the only two places that I've
Oh,
ever actually that was your missions trip. Which oddly enough, I'm an atheist now. So
Hmm.
but I've
I've
done
been,
more. I've I've done more missions than a majority of Christians has. So
yeah, Catholicism, we don't do that so much. At least not in my experience. So I never went on a mission trip, but I went to Ireland. I've been there twice, and I've been to Portugal, where my husband's from.
I did learn something the other day about that, about the good old country of Ireland.
Yeah,
That's where the Princess Bride was filmed.
yeah.
I was
I think they
unaware of
used the
that.
bird for part of it. Oh, I didn't know you didn't know.
I didn't know that. I also didn't know that Wallace Shawn feared for his job the entire time too.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, he didn't think that he deserved it because it was written for Danny DeVito,
I could see that.
which
Um, yeah,
is
I
what it
mean,
is. So
what's funny about that movie? So I think I've mentioned my grandfather on the show before. So he worked in radio for many, many years, and as a result, was friends with a lot of, or friendly with a lot of pretty famous people, which is just kind of cool. And one of the people he got to meet at one point was Andre the Giant. And there's a picture somewhere of my aunts when they were little with Andre when they were meeting him because I think Grandpa was interviewing him, and he said I don't know if it was his wedding ring or something, but it looked like it could fit around like a soda can. Like that's how big that guy was.
yeah,
I think he had Marfan syndrome or Marfanoid trait,
one of my
which
one of my favorite facts about, I can't remember if it happened during the Princess Bride or not, but I'm pretty sure it did. Uh, is that he had like a 30-second fart.
oh my god.
Like he farted like mid scene or something like that, and the director looked at him like the entire, let's say everybody on cast was just stood there silently, and finally the director or whoever was there commented on, it's like like, do you feel okay? He's like, I do now.
I I remember hearing a story that was from the Princess Bride once where he got because he would drink so much, he was such a big guy. He got so drunk he passed out in the lobby of the hotel where they were all staying, and they couldn't move him because he was too big, so they just put like cones around him. So, but yeah, so those are that. I think that'd be my three. Get visit each country at least once. Be able to be here for my kids, and then on top of visiting each country, I'd like to go to space. I think that would be fun.
Well, I mean, space travel is coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, but I don't want to go for like crappy tourist reasons. Like I want to go and like contribute in some way. I have no idea what I'd be contributing, but
So you want
you
to
know,
quite literally reach for the stars?
always. I mean, technically, we're all made of star stuff, so bam, just touch one.
Tisby, Tisby. Again, thank you, Lily, off of that one for writing in with us. It is bracket BRACKETTY, the number two, then R at yahoo.com to get it in. We do it old school as far as email stuff goes. If it goes to be as far as to write in here, or if you want to be a guest on any of our shows, including the Bracket Bastards podcast as well, or the show that Kate and I co-host over at the Recasting Call, and that the list of movies is actually out there now. So go ahead and check that one out. Welcome back for round two off of this one. It looks like I start us off. We have Man on the Moon versus The Truman Show. I okay. Man on the Moon is a better movie. Like actual movie, it's a better movie. But I will tell you that Truman Show is a lot more entertaining as far as the movie goes. But that's more because of, I can't even say it's more because of Jim Carrey, because Jim Carrey is in both of these movies. Stars in both of these movies, actually. Um, I'm gonna go with Man on the Moon off of this one. As a wrestling fan, I'm gonna go with Man on the Moon. Andy Kaufman helped the wrestling world as it is today, and by adding a little bit more of a uh, celebrity flair to it. So that's what the story is. What a lot of the story off of Man on the Moon is because of that. And the Truman Show honestly kind of creeps me out at times. So I'm gonna go with Man on the Moon. Gets my vote. Audience between Man on the Moon and the Truman Show. It is a 17 vote difference for the Truman Show. Tie breaking decision for you, Kate. As it Truman Show or Man on the Moon?
I'm gonna go with Man on the Moon. He plays twice as many characters in Man on the Moon as he does on the Truman Show, and I think that for the purpose of this bracket, we're looking at Paul Giamatti and his role in each film versus just the film itself as a standalone item.
All right. Truman Show stays in round two. It is listed at number 4 for Chat GPT / Paul Giamatti. Says bright, cheerful, and quietly horrifying. This is kind of what I just said. A film about surveillance, performance, and identity before we had the language for it. Jim Carrey being restrained is somehow more unsettling than when he is unhinged. This movie ages like wine, unlike most people. That is true. Like, I agree with that entire sentiment that having a restrained Jim Carrey is a lot more unsettling. Just having him do like imagine. I think Jim Carrey at his most like unhinged is probably The Mask, but then you see
I would agree.
the movie like Room 23, and that movie is absolutely psychotic. Like Jim Carrey in a horror movie type thing where he can't be the his entire goofy self, but he has to be like an actual. I'm not going to say an actual actor because that would be getting
A
rid
more
of
dram- a
comedy
more
actor.
dramatic, yeah, a
Yes,
dramatic actor.
somebody who can't fall back on the actual silliness of what comedy is.
Hmm.
Now, I know a lot of people who can't do comedy. I know a lot of people who are. I know of a lot of people. I don't know them personally. I know of a lot of people who can do dramatic acting quite well, but they absolutely cannot touch comedy. And they will tell you flat out that comedy is one of the hardest things to do. I know of a lot of other comedians and stuff that will do comedy but will not touch dramatic acting because they will say the same thing about about the opposite end of that, where dramatic acting is harder to do because comedy is a lot more fun to do. You can bring your actual inner character out in comedy rather than playing somebody else. So I'm not going to put any kind of distaste on either the dramatic or the comedy on either one of those, but I will say that as far as Jim Carrey goes, which has done both of them, and a a serious Jim Carrey is a lot more unsettling than an unhinged one. Man in the Moon moves on 2-1 to the next round. Audience starts us off. It is either The Illusionist or Robots. In a 5 vote difference, Illusionist gets that vote. Kate,
It will pretty much always be The Illusionist for me. Both the movie, the character, fabulous.
Illusionist gets my vote as well. It's 3 and out for that one. Robots, spot number 13 for ChatGPT / Paul Giamatti. Bright colors, relentless noise, and very little soul. It wants desperately to be heartfelt, but it feels manufactured emotion by algorithm. I mean, I gotta disagree with that. But it's also not really an adult. Like, I shouldn't say adult film. It's not really a movie made for adults.
Yeah, I think in this case, our ChatGPT Paul Giamatti is once more taking itself a little bit too seriously,
Yeah.
um, and I think you have to go. You have to look at it for what it is to be able to appreciate what it's bringing to the table.
Either way, Illusionist moves on 3-0 to the next round. Kate starts us off. Kate, it is either Jungle Cruise or Planet of the Apes. Ironically enough,
I I want to pick Jungle Cruise because I like that movie a little bit more actually, but again, we're going off of Paul Giamatti's role, and fabulous villain aside, I think his role in Planet of the Apes is a little bit more fleshed out.
Gets a vote. I'm a Disney kid at heart. Uh, I usually vote for when I'm stuck on different things, or I don't care. I'm gonna go for the Disney side of it. Jungle Cruise gets my vote, but which means the audience splits us in this situation. And the looks like 5 vote difference off of this one. Planet of the Apes gets that win. Jungle Cruise stays in this round. 2-1. Jungle Cruise, spot number 12. So it's a film that feels like it was designed by committee. Pleasant, inoffensive, utterly without danger. It's cinematic beige. You forget it while watching it.
I don't know that I would agree with that.
I mean, okay, don't get me wrong. I have seen this movie and honestly I kind of agree with it. Like there's no single scene in that entire thing that I can point out.
I suppose. Well, no, I think when the his like former crewmates and one of them's got a head full of bees comes out, that stands out pretty strongly.
I mean, when it's
But
revealed, when it's officially revealed what happened to him,
yeah,
like what the story is, I can see that as being a momentous occasion. But realistically, the movie itself, it's a movie.
yeah,
Just like, all right, it's a movie. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just it's a movie. It's something that you can let your kids watch and be okay with it.
yeah. It's one of those I don't think I would ever necessarily seek out, but like at the same time, if I'm scrolling through and it's on, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll watch that.
I'm waiting for somebody in comments to have problems with my shirt. I really am. Um,
It's from an angry raven.
yeah, Ravenclaw right here.
Oh,
Fuck off.
I'm a Ravenclaw too.
I'm not. I'm a Hufflepuff. Which, if I remember right, upon reading uh, a Harry Potter thing on Facebook the other day, Hufflepuff is the only of the 4 houses that wasn't listed as that wasn't listed as somebody who defected to Voldemort's uh, Death Eater thing.
I believe that's correct, and it's also the house that J.K. Rowling said really, if you, that's where you should want to be, if you're going to want to be a part of anything, that would be the one to pick.
What, Hufflepuff? Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm I've taken that the Pottermore sorting quiz a number of different times to see what would come up, and I have never ended any different.
I've gotten Hufflepuff 9 out of 10 times, and the only time I got was the 10th time is I did the entire I wanted to see what would happen if I answered every single question the exact opposite of what I
Mhm.
would do. So, but yeah, 9 out of 10 times. So, and the 10th times I got Ravenclaw because I'm just not smart. So it is what it is. Last but not least, I get to start this one off on this one. It is either Big Fat Liar or Fred Claus. It's holidays. It's the holiday season. I love Big Fat Liar. I love getting back at bosses and stuff like that. But Fred Claus it's a holiday classic at this point. I prefer Fred Claus over Elf, and I'm
Is that
prob
because it's a better movie, or because you just hate Will Ferrell
no,
that much?
I prefer okay. I prefer Fred Claus over Elf because Fred Claus is more. It's a movie geared towards adults, where Elf is a movie that's geared toward kids,
Mm-hmm.
but adults get a lot of the jokes that kids don't.
Yeah.
Much like Shrek. Shrek is kid friendly, but it's also adult friendly.
They're family movies with some tongue-in-cheek Easter eggs.
Fred Claus is a teen family movie. Elf is a kid family movie. There's a big difference in that one, and my kids live with certain rules, and with the exception of my youngest one, who uh, is floating around here somewhere, I think he's laying on the couch. Uh, would all of us would prefer Fred Claus over Elf, mainly because Elf is kind of banned in this house. So Fred Claus gets my vote off of that one. Audience between Fred Claus and Big Fat Liar. It is a 9 vote difference off of that one, which is bigger than I thought it would be. So Fred Claus gets the vote and the win off of that one. Kate, Fred Claus or Big Fat Liar?
As much as I want to do the Christmas thing, I he's I love Paul Giamatti. He's not my favorite Santa, and he's so good at playing the boss that you're so happy that he is blue with orange hair. He's just so mean to that grandpa, and that makes me mad. And since I feel that viscerally about it, I feel like I need to vote for Big Fat Liar.
Who is your favorite Santa? Like
Who's my
top three,
top three live action or animated
general,
in
all together.
general? All together. I would say in my time, I don't know that I could rank one above all of the others. Kurt Russell is definitely one
Okay.
of them. Um, the other one would probably be Klaus in the movie Klaus, which I think is J.K. Simmons does his voice. And who's our other top three? Who's our other one? Charlie, what do we think? Where are you going? Um, it's
And I
not. I know. I'm trying to think who I want to choose. It's not Tim Allen from the Santa Claus because while I do like him, um, I love what he did. I feel he looks a lot. My dad looks like a mix of Tim Allen and John Goodman, and I can't watch that, especially when Tim Allen is fat. But fat Tim Allen looks exactly like if anybody ever Googles Fred LaVergne. Don't read any of the articles. Just look at the pictures. That's what he looks like. Um, so it's not going to be. I'm going to go with Sir Richard Attenborough's Santa from Miracle on 34th Street with Mara Wilson.
I
I think
I
he might
was
be my number one.
I was gonna agree with you on that one. Actually, he's not my number one. Um, he's my number three. Uh, Number two is I can't remember the guy's name, but he's in the movie Violent Night. Uh,
Let me look it up.
I also think he's the dad in Stranger Things. Uh,
David Harbour?
yeah. You ever seen
Um,
Violent Night?
no, so I am a. It is David Harbour, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't like things that are supposed to be happy, like Christmas,
Okay.
that are then made mean. So, like for a long time, I had an irrational fear of the Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters because he's supposed to be this happy, fluffy guy, and then he's evil, and just I don't like that. I love horror movies. I love doing like the makeup and the gore and all that.
Well, this
I
isn't a
don't
horror
like.
movie.
No, I know, but I don't like things that are supposed to be one way that then go not that way. So I haven't watched it because I didn't like the idea of it. I like it for other people, and I have friends who very much like Violent Night. Um, it's just not my thing.
I love that movie. I watch it every single year. My third one, by the way, I don't like the movie, but I absolutely love the portrayal of Santa Claus off of this one, and that's Billy Bob Thornton in Bad Santa.
Oh my god. There's a I was funny. We were talking earlier about like a bracket for Santas. I had listened to something the other day that was, I think it was by the Nerdist, and they were ranking the most powerful Santas based off of their like Santa powers. And Billy Bob Thornton is very briefly mentioned, but he was like knocked out immediately.
By the way, if anybody out there wants to do a Santa bracket like that, I have no problem with it. It would be a nice little special. I wouldn't. I probably wouldn't do it. Like I'm not going to edit it for Spotify type thing.
Mm-hmm.
because I
Super
have a
fun.
lot of shit to do. But I wouldn't edit it for Spotify, but I have no problem running it for a uh, YouTube type special.
That could be fun.
So it'd just be
YouTube
like
exclusive.
a one off type thing. And then next year we might actually have like an actual Santa Claus type tournament again because we haven't done it for at least a couple of years. And um, the cool thing about this show, one of the many cool things about this show, is that you could do the same exact tournament twice, or actually, realistically, you can do the same tournament 10 times. And there's a good possibility you'll come up with 10 different winners.
Hmm.
It just depends on the people you have on the show.
Well, and also something like the Santa Clauses. I mean, there's new Santa movies every year. We now could
Yeah.
include Jack Black in there, J.K. Simmons as Santa from Red One. I mean, there's.
I mean, would you count Jack Black as Santa Claus though? Because he's not Santa. He's Satan. He's not even Satan.
But
He's a
he's not even
demon.
really Satan. Yeah. Um, I would say it would depend. It's something we probably have to argue out, and then I would ultimately, if it was me talking to me, I would say no. But the possibility is there that you could roll it in as a Santa figure.
I would probably I would probably have a Santa
Okay.
corner, like a non Santa corner
Mm-hmm.
of people who are like, for instance, Billy Bob Thornton
Mm-hmm.
in Bad Santa doesn't actually play Santa. He plays a mall Santa,
Mm-hmm.
which is a different type of thing. Um, Jack Black is a demon cosplaying as a Santa type thing. The mall Santa from Christmas Story,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. That would
Or
be that corner of it.
yeah, the Santa
But
from Home Alone who gives him the tic tac.
yeah, but I wouldn't. The only problem with that is that you'll get one of those that will get up to the final four, and then pretty much automatically lose.
Yeah.
So, but it would. So I would either do that or have four. I'd have 8 different Santa Clauses in the 4 different corners of the system. So they all get knocked out in round one,
Mm-hmm.
but they all get mentioned.
Yeah, we get a chance to talk about the fact that they exist. You never know. There'd be a sleeper hit in there somewhere.
Yeah, like for instance, Billy Bob Thornton. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. Fred Claus moves on 2-1 to the next round. Big Fat Liar gets spot oh 10. Yep, 10. Yes, it's juvenile, but it's also honest about consequences and persistence. It doesn't pretend to be smarter than it is. It's simply refreshing about that kind of straightforward chaos. Which, I mean, it's true. It's a movie. It's a movie made for kids,
Yeah.
like Charlie.
Sorry. I'm trying to keep her quiet. She's just very opinionated tonight and doing her best impressions of a baby bear.
I do hope that this show lasts long enough to actually have Charlie on a show,
That would be fun.
like, and actually have like thoughts. I don't know what it would be. Um, Current cartoons. Have her
Yeah.
thoughts on the current cartoon world, or
Right now, she just.
what's your favorite thing about Christmas
Mm-hmm.
or Hanukkah
Or both.
or both, the holiday season? All right. Either way, Fred Claus moves on. The Illusionist, Planet of the Apes, and Man on the Moon. After that one, we'll be right back right after this break. Uh, okay. I get to talk to some pretty cool people in this entire podcasting world. One of my number one favorite type of people I get to talk to is Kate and Charlotte, of course. But Kate is the person who can actually talk right now, and she is my co-host over at the Recasting Call show. Kate, how you doing today, dear?
Good, good. Same first gone out, warming up from the snow and having a lot of fun talking about one of my favorite actors. I think sometimes that surprises people, Paul Giamatti. He also looks like and reminds me a lot of one of my uncles. So earlier I said like he was heating things up. I was making a joke for the record. I mean, he's a lovely person, but
I mean, to each
he
your own.
he looks a lot like my uncle Carl though.
Again, to each their own. I'm not gonna yuck your yum. They're dear.
No, we can yuck that. But he's just he's such a good actor, and I very much appreciate that about Charlotte. Stop that. Sorry, I very much
I
appreciate that about him.
I can tell you that Paul. I even from a straight guy point of view, Paul Giamatti is a sexy beast for a certain age range. Only for the simple fact that he's very smart,
Yes.
and for somebody who puts more importance on intelligence than looks, because intelligence is a lot easier to improve than looks are over the years.
Mm-hmm.
It gets a lot harder to improve looks than it does intelligence. The
Oh,
the exact older you get,
depends on how much dementia's hitting you.
yeah. I mean, it is what it is, but that's what we get. Um, you got anything coming up as far as the entire comedy shows go?
Yeah, so we have our Christmas show. When is this show coming out? 'Cause I'm trying to think of when it is going to be relevant to here. Um,
As we record next Sunday.
okay, so the Christmas show will have just just passed. We have a show coming up the end of January. I will be hosting the Don't Call Me Shirley comedy show, as always, at someplace else in Waterford Works, New Jersey. January 23rd, we have myself as well as the return of Pat Rocky. He will be premiering in New Jersey, so it's will be the New Jersey premiere of his one man comedy show around his battle with cancer. Um, he's already had it debut up in Connecticut. I think he did it in New York as well. So this is going to be his New Jersey debut on that. Been fortunate enough to see some clips from it and get to hear some of the audio and talk to Pat about it. Um, it's fantastic. Not only is it very funny, it's also very poignant, and I think it's going to resonate with a lot of people. So if you'll be in the New Jersey area, the show will be free, unlike our Christmas show, which is a ticketed event. Um, the show with Pat in January will be a free show. And I believe we will have opportunities there for people who want to donate to the American Cancer Society. But we'll have more information on that as it gets closer.
There we go. I'm your host, Freddie Fierce. You can find me at that on Facebook. I not only host this show, but I host multiple other shows. Number one is, of course, Bracket Bastards. If you don't know what Bracket Bastards is by this point, I do apologize, but this is probably the best episode to figure that one out. On uh, on the other news, I also co-host a show along with Kate, the Recasting Call, where we take movies made before the year 2000 and recast them. We rethink them. We refurbish them, as you may say, and a little bit more of a modern flair. So modern actor taking on classic roles. Coming up next, as far as recording goes, is the February episode of the recasting call is Casablanca. But next up, coming out the first day of January to the day one of 2026, we recasted are starting the books. I need to edit it. We recasted the movie Liar Liar for my 40th birthday, which is coming up on the 20th day of next year. So we'll be celebrating that one as well. On I have a We have a wrestling podcast. Myself and Kevin have a wrestling podcast called Central Booking, where each episode comes out twice a month. We take on a new wrestling challenge. It's not your wrestling review show because there's a lot of wrestling review shows out there, and I just don't want to add my toe to that mix. So we're going to add a little something special to that one. So if you're a wrestling fan, check that one out. And there is so much more on the ABC Podcast Network. Go ahead and check us out. And again, if you want to be on any of these, we have a lot of content, which means we have lots of spots. If you ever want to fill one of those, it's all right by me. Whether you have a podcast or you're just a fan, you are family here. So check us out. Um, all right, update. No lifelines have been used. Not a single one. Steal a vote and pass the partial. These next two matchups are the last time to do it. So probably one for me and one for you. And of course, blowing your load goes all the way to the end of the game. Welcome back for the Final Four and beyond. It looks like the audience starts us off on this one. Audience, It is either Planet of the Apes or Fred Claus in a one vote difference on this one. Fred Claus gets the vote from the audience. Kate, is it Fred Claus or Planet of the Apes?
We've decided it's Fred Claus.
Alpha's vote in that situation. Fred Claus gets to vote as well. I'm going to give it to Fred Claus. Name value alone, as Fred, name value alone gets that vote. Planet of the Apes. I'm a fan of the movie. I'm a bigger fan of this movie than the original movies. Hate me. I don't care. But Fred Claus gets my vote. 3 and out to the next round. Kate starts us off. Kate, Man on the Moon or The Illusionist?
The Illusionist. And I will steal a vote and make your vote The Illusionist as well. The end.
I mean, you didn't have to.
But I wanted to.
I was going to steal the audience vote and make it 3 and out. So my vote was going to go for The Illusionist as well, but Kate's steal a vote is off the board. My steal a vote's off the board. That was my last opportunity to do it. But between the audience, off of this situation in a 6 vote difference, The Illusionist gets the audience vote as well. So both of these are 3 and outs. Moving on to the finals. Uh, okay. Sorry, that's just a lot to write out. Catching up, by the way, Planet of the Apes got got spot 6. Looking at the wrong number. Got spot 6 as far as the our chat GPT / Paul Giamatti goes. Says this film has decency to be bleak. It looks at humanity and says, "You did this to yourselves." Yeah, I was right. Uh, you did this to yourselves. I admire your honesty and also enjoy the movie. That doesn't pretend to the pretend optimism uh, is mandatory. And Man on the Moon, of course, got spot 8. Sorry, 5. I was looking at the wrong one. 5. That's why I double check. An act of cinematic masochism. Kaufman is daring you to either get it or leave the room. It's messy, indulgent, emotionally confusing, and that's the point. Art that refuses to apologize always earns my respect, even when it irritates me. That's a good take on that. Like it really is.
I
It's
would agree. That was an astute one. Well done, ChatGPT.
Chat Giamatti.
Giamatti Paul Travers.
All right. Um, third place. I get to start us off on this one. No pass to parcel. No steal of votes. Are left on the board. We still have blown a load. I'm not going to be using it during this time between Man on the Moon and Planet of the Apes. As a wrestling fan, I will be going with Man on the Moon off of this one. I respect Planet of the Apes. It's a good movie, but Jim Carrey alone um, sways it towards Man on the Moon in this situation. It's a wrestling movie, sways it that way as well. And realistically, I agree with that take. It's one of those movies that it's very unapologetic about what what it is. And I also kind of think, even though Planet of the Apes was a better rendition of it, I think it's a little bit of a money grab.
It's
So,
100% a money grab.
but Man on the Moon gets my vote. Audience between Man on the Moon and Planet of the Apes in a 7 vote difference. Planet of the Apes gets that vote. Kate, tie breaking decision for third place. Planet of the Apes or Man on the Moon?
Man on the Moon. Planet of the Apes cannot come in third.
Gets a vote and the win for third place. Audience starts us off for the finals. Um, can okay. Audience cannot blow their load unless it is a tie game, so they are officially off the board off of that one. It is not a tie game, from what I understand. Let's make sure. Um, no, in fact, it is a 2 vote difference, so very close off of this one. Fred Claus gets that vote. Kate, is it Fred Claus or the Illusionist?
The Illusionist.
Gets a vote, which means it is a tie-breaking decision coming down to me. I am a holiday movie aficionado. I love the majority of them, even Hallmark movies, with the exception of Elf, because fuck Will Ferrell, and not in a good way. At least, not the fun way. However, The Illusionist, which by the way, the audience vote for Fred Claus and that 2 vote difference is the first vote that The Illusionist actually got against it this entire time. I will be going with The Illusionist as well. I
Thank you.
I I absolutely I love holiday movies, but when it comes down to it, between The Illusionist, even though it's like a 2 time watch per year,
Hmm.
um, and Fred Claus is a holiday staple for me. I gotta go with The Illusionist because it's a damn good movie.
It's a very good movie, and I think again part of why I would vote for it, not just because I love the movie though, his acting and the level of work and preparedness that he had to bring to the table for that role is so involved compared to, not that it's easy to be Santa, but it's a different level. So I very much appreciate you going with the illusionist with me on this one.
Well, I mean, you're
This
us being friends didn't come into my decision whatsoever. I'm just that much of a dick. Uh, Fred Claus, by the way, coming at number 9 for chat Chat Giamatti. It says, here's the thing. It's ridiculous, but it understands bitterness, it understands sibling resentment, and the humiliation of being a screw up. The emotional honesty carries it further than it has any right to go. I begrudgingly approve. And again, that's a very good take on that one. And of course, the illusionist got spot number 7. So two spots closer, just like 2 votes farther than They're sorry, two votes less than the Fred Claus off of that one. The Illusionist, our winner today, got spot number 7. Says controlled, elegant, quietly confident. This movie knows exactly what tone it wants and stays there. No winking, no desperation, just atmosphere, restraint, and Edward Norton looking like he's withholding information from everyone. By the way, I think Edward Norton is kind of a sour point as far as this movie goes.
I would agree. Oh, sometimes I like to pepper in our fun facts. Did you know he and Paul Giamatti went to school together?
No.
They were both at Yale at the same time.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, like, their age difference. It kind of seems like there's a bigger age difference than that.
No, Paul Giamatti is born in '67, and I think Ed Norton's like '68. Hold on.
The Ed Norton looks really good for being that old.
Ed Norton age. He's 69. He's
Nice,
56 years old, but born in '69. So yeah, they're only a
nice.
couple years apart. It's a nice year to be born.
The only thing we're missing is 6'7".
6'7". No, we're not. That's the year. That's the year Paul Giamatti was
Yeah.
born.
Oh,
He was,
it's also the age that Lily, are the person that happened to write in today, is currently. So shout out and happy birthday to her. We missed it by like a month. So
oh, happy birthday, Lily.
yep.
That's my one of my
Um,
son's best friends' names.
The Illusionist, Fred Claus, Man on the Moon, and the Planet of the Apes rounds out our top 4. That is our show this week. You can find Kate at.
You can find me live in Technicolor person at someplace else in Waterford Works, New Jersey, last Sunday of every month, the exception of our Saturday Christmas show that you will have just missed if you're listening to this. You can also find me on social media everywhere as Kate LaVergne. And also, my books, Mommy Needs Coffee and Hot Mess Express, are available on Amazon. They make great holiday gifts. And I think I have them on sale right now. So they're like only like 5 or 10 bucks.
I have 2 copies myself, so there's that one. I'm your host, Freddie Fisher. You can find me at that on Facebook. While you're on Facebook, check out Bracket Bash of the Audience Vote. You can vote along with us every single week. Currently, we just got done with the tournament we're doing next week, which is um, those who will be missed, which is people who have died the last 2 years. This is going to be our memorial episode for this going forward. But over the last 2 years, people who have died from different movies and such is going to be connected in the movie tournament that we have coming up next week, and it is really, really ridiculously good movies. So I apologize for that one. Dre is going to be the pass the parcel vote off of that one. So we have DeAndre from Mass Debaters is going to be the victim off of that one. He chose that though, so it's his own damn fault. Um, and then of course we have our tournament of champions, which is going to be 32 movies or 32 winners from the bracket tournaments this year. So make sure to check that one out. We'll be listing our 2025 finalists off there. By the way, Princess Bride has gotten 3 different selections on there, so it automatically moves on to the next round past the first round, and probably more after that. I'm gonna make sure that Princess Bride can't be facing Princess Bride in the final. So
And that would be so fun.
it would suck. On Twitter, I'm at Fisher777. We're all at Bracket Pod on Instagram. As always, you can find me at Can't Lick Me, not one word. I like to leave every single show with a quote. Today's quote is, of course, from Paul Giamatti because he is our third wise man in this situation. Um, says, sex is 99% friction and 1% goodwill. From, of course, the movie The Holdovers, which is one of the movies that we didn't actually have on today's list, but he's been in a whole bunch of them. The Three Wise Men series is always a Sweet 16, so um, got a chance to list on the holdovers. That is our show this week, guys. Again, catch us next week when we'll be remembering those that has passed on. Have a good one, guys.